Well, hi, Christina Marie here with another book review on another A.S. King novel. This one was a quick read for me as well. It took me, I think, a day to read it. And it is Ask the Passengers by A.S. King. I apologize for lighting. There we go. This is another library book. I have been getting all my books from the library recently, starting the year off right, 2014, with borrowed books, y'all. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I originally started out wanting to give it a 3.5 out of 5, but by the end of it, it all came together for me. So, Ask the Passengers is about a girl named Astrid Jones, cool name, and her self-discovery of her sexuality. So the story just navigates her process of deciding who she is sexually, if she's a lesbian, if she's straight, that kind of thing. And then the social repercussions from that in terms of family, friends, society. She basically lives in a really, really small town, one-dimensional town that everyone is striving to be something that they're not. There's this veil of perfection that everyone is trying to obtain, especially her mother. Her mother is a perfect representation of what not to be, really. But her mother is a perfect representation of a common person. Like we all intuitively like to strive for perfection in ways that make no sense whatsoever. And that's kind of what I learned about Astrid's mother. I think her name is Claire in this book. She also has a sister named Ellis, and her dad's name is something. I forgot. But her dad is more of a free spirit. Her sister is your typical little sister who, wants to be cool and, that kind of thing. And then she has her best friend, Christina, spelled with a K, the incorrect way, I'd say. And we learn a little bit about that as well. And then there's a few characters as well. There's Jeff, and then there's Dee, and so on and so forth. The characters in this book, I think, were really, really well written. I enjoyed them. The thing that I didn't enjoy about this book is that maybe for like the first half, I don't want to say didn't enjoy. That's an incorrect phrase. That the thing that kept me from latching on to this plot as I did with the other two A.S. King novels, such as Everybody Sees the Ants and Reality Boy, I just felt like there was something missing. I wasn't able to connect to Astrid on a level that I could with Jerry from Reality Boy and main character who I already forgot from Everybody Sees the Ants, Lucky. And so that kind of pulled me out a little bit because I just wasn't able to connect to Astrid on that level. But then again, I really enjoyed Astrid as a character. Granted, she wasn't my favorite. She wasn't annoying at all. I really enjoyed watching her learn about herself and not conform to anyone else's standards but her own. Christina is her best friend, and Christina has her own struggles and her own story that you'll learn about. But Christina panned out exactly the way that I thought she would from the beginning of the story. I said, oh, I already know what kind of person you're going to be. I can just tell. And then Dee, surprisingly, ended up being my favorite character in this book because she represented something. She represented a lesson that I think we as individuals all need to learn. Whether you're gay or whether you're straight, whatever you are. Dee was just an enjoyable character for me. Granted, she had her flaws, as all characters do, but I really enjoyed her character flaws as well because it just showed her humanity. It showed her vulnerable side because Dee actually comes off as a really, really, really strong person. But you still get to see a little bit of her weak spots. And then Astrid, she's kind of the, I don't want to say she's the opposite of D, but her growth pattern was a little opposite. Whereas with D, you saw D's strength and then you start to see a little bit of her weaknesses. With Astrid, you saw her weaknesses right up front. And then you slowly start to see her grow into a person of assurance, and she's starting to learn who she is, and she's identifying one way and whatnot. And I really enjoyed her interactions with her family, because that's not to say, you know, there are some families who don't know how to handle a child who could potentially be gay or lesbian. And I just really like how A.S. King had that interaction between Astrid and her family. And I think a lot of people who are struggling with any kind of identity issues, this would be a good book to read, to just kind of know and understand somebody else's struggle and how it was interpreted and how it was handled. I'm not saying this is the end all be all at all, but I just really enjoyed the story unfolding. Now, there were some scenes in here in dealing with Astrid's personal life that sometimes I felt like I was intruding on. I felt like I shouldn't have been watching or reading. And I think A.S. King did a really good job of making me feel that discomfort of bearing witness to some intimacy that I probably shouldn't be bearing witness to. I thought it was really, really well written. I thought that the characters influenced Astrid in a way that they should have, and I think that Astrid's response to various characters throughout the book was perfect. I really like that she wasn't some weak-minded, you know, walk all over me character that didn't have anywhere to go, like that didn't grow into something bigger and better than that. This book was really, really, really good in that aspect. And then of course there's typical A.S. King that I've noticed from the past 3 books I've read about her. She always uses a metaphor of some sort. The passengers are a metaphor, just like the ants, and everybody sees the ants, were a metaphor. There's just A.S. King likes to speak in metaphors, and I think that's really, really cool. And so I did enjoy this book. Like I said, it wasn't my favorite, and I can't exactly pinpoint the reason why, but I gave it a 4 out of 5. Like I said, I greatly enjoyed it, especially towards the end. I said, okay, this is a book that I really, really can get on board with, and I can definitely, you know, tell people, go read this book, go check it out, go buy it, whatever. I will be buying this in physical copy to have on my shelf, because like I said, I really did enjoy this book, and I really do think that A.S. King is becoming one of my favorite authors, like, ever. So yay for that. I'm sick again, if you can't tell, so it's really hard to talk and breathe at the same time, but I wanted to show you guys something before I end this video. So yeah, that's it for this. My next read is my last A.S. King book, Please Ignore Verdites. So I'll be reading this one next. And then I also wanted to show you guys something that I got in the mail. So hold on. So I got this box in the mail today, actually just a few minutes ago. And I'm going to open it for you because it has something to do with one of my bookish goals for the year. So remember I mentioned one of my bookish goals for 2014 was to reread some stuff. Dun, 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 dun. The complete series of Harry Potter in paperback. This is a special edition series, or the special edition collection. Does that make sense? Special edition collection? It's so pretty. It's covered in plastic, so it's reflecting poorly. But yes, here it is. I will be starting this, I think, in either February or March. I can't remember when I marked it on my calendar. But I will be starting with Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I always want to say the Philosopher's Stone because of the British version, but yeah, whatever. So yes, yay, I have it. So that is all for this video. Comment down below with any comments you want to comment about comments. And make sure you're subscribed for more videos from me. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.